So something I was really shocked to see from the Warren camp too was some uh, a strategy that I've only seen far right reactionaries do, which we've all seen the videos of far right people doing this. They'll go to an event, say some to an event that's usually filled with more left wing people, say something super offensive, then get attacked, and then say, "Look how crazy the left is." People were doing that with Bernie, where they would post a lie about Bernie. All the replies will be people angry Bernie fans, and then say, "Look how problematic Bernie bros are." Actually, I'd be curious your thoughts on something that I saw quite a few progressive Christians say. So you've heard people say that Warren was a Republican until the 90s, or just an establishment Democrat until like just a few years ago and stuff like that, and they just point to all the problematic stuff she used to say. And I've seen some progressive Christians respond to that criticism by saying her shift is one of the reasons I like her a lot, is because I went through a shift where they'll say I used to be a right-wing evangelical with all kinds of problematic views, but I changed, and I see Warren's progress the same way. She used to have problematic views, and then she changed. Like I used to have problematic views, and I changed. And what do you think about that?
That's something that I say for Tulsi, but that I don't hold for Warren, because Warren has, although she's changed on things supposedly, when you change on things from your past, you have to be able to explain to people why you were the way you were and how you have changed and what's different now, and then your actions have to show that is real, right? That's the whole point about consistency. It's like you can change, but consistency, or I guess it's not consistency. Consistency, I would say, is second tier important. It's not as important as integrity. If you have integrity and you change, so you're perceived as not consistent because you've changed. Integrity is showing how you've changed and then remaining committed to the values that you are rooting for now and not giving up on that fight. So when and I did this video, it's on my channel. I don't know if you saw it. It's like 2.5 minutes long, of Warren endorsing Bernie in 2017, calling him her friend, even in the debates, saying she takes the side of Bernie on Medicare for all because it is a human right. And then I've also got clips in there of her railing against Biden. And it's like, look, if she's serious about all of that, if this isn't just progressive brand, like flirting with, curating a more progressive brand, but she's serious about these values and these, human rights, then it's no contest between the two of them. It is no contest. Even if the worst thing that she's been able to say about him is that it was true. Even if the worst thing she was able to say about him is true, it's nothing in comparison to the explicit, public, outright, jocular, misogynistic forms of sexism coming from Biden, not only towards every woman he puts his hands on, but also towards Warren herself. And so it's just like, there is no contest. So we're all left with like the only real explanation, when we know that there's not more harassment coming from one camp than another, is that this is a career advancement decision. Like there's no other real way for me to make sense of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised I'm not seeing like almost every Warren supporter talking about feeling betrayed. Instead, we're seeing a bunch of people saying Warren doesn't owe you anything. I saw a few Warren supporters actually saying that they feel betrayed. But
Jaxie, are you still in chat? Jaxie has like the perfect meme for this. Have you seen that meme from it's the Lord of the Rings revised meme?
I think so. I think I did.
Where it's like Warren supporters. Or like, it's like Warren. Okay. Well, someone please find that for us anyway.
Yeah, it's and that's been strange to see. Like, have you seen like all those tweets from the people with the green background that were on Warren's staff?
No.
Oh,
Wait,
these are a bunch.
I've probably seen some of them, but what's the green? Wait. Oh,
Probably.
is that green background? Okay.
There
There's
were
a
a
lot of
Warren
people with
staffer.
that green. Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Okay, some of those people are good and some of those people are not.
Yeah.
And I can't tell the difference between them all because I wasn't following them all before.
Yeah, because
And
they all have the green
and
background.
now I've followed some of them and then I was like I saw other ones and they all look the same because they're all white ladies. So it's like, they're all white ladies with green backgrounds and it's too soon for me to know the difference between them all. So yeah,
Yeah.
what's your observation with them?
What pretty much that it's like hit or miss. Where like yeah, some of them are saying some really good stuff, and others are saying some real weird cringe stuff. Like they've just been holding on to so much anger against Bernie and haven't and like but stayed professional this whole time. And then when Warren dropped out, they're just popping it off. And it's yeah, it's interesting, but it's also interesting like it's if it's like a game the way they're responding like Warren doesn't owe you anything posting the SNL clip saying we could have had 8 years of this but y'all
Of
messed up
dancing,
and it's
yeah.
like of dancing it's like
That was such a
so
cringy
weird.
video because she looked kind of resentful. She didn't look boss. She looked kind of resentful, like when she's staring into the
Yeah,
camera. She didn't look
or
boss.
the New York Times comment felt resentful.
Yeah. It's like it's a
Yeah,
bad look unless you're literally just looking to sell books to the same demographic Hillary's looking to sell books to for the rest of her losing life.
yeah, exactly. It's very, but that's the thing. It's like that's especially just made me feel like it was a game. Like we just like they just want a really cool, nice person in power, and it's like that's what they think a president is having a cool, nice person to be the face of America.
Straight up.
Eh,
Let me make my quick little feminist disclaimer because I really don't like this form of corporate individualist career advancement, one-up gotchamanship feminism. But at
Yeah,
the same time, obviously, and this, we were both assigned male at birth in a world where we're told that we're more entitled to certain things, including the presidency. And so I just want to make a quick little statement about for the people who are new to this. I do sympathize with the fact that people who think that politics really is about finding someone who overall it's more about their image and it's more about who they inspire. So like we're talking about a liberal form of identity politics instead of a truly intersectional class-based, identity politics, which is obviously my priority. But for the people who think that that is politics, who then put their face out in public, who then take a stand and support a candidate who is a woman, or for a woman who comes out and runs for presidency, or for any other office, the rape threats are daily, and you can't forget that. And that I know how like negativity wears on you and how you have to turn off parts of your brain to deal with it, and different people cope in different ways, and that women are subjected to a form of harassment that I've not been subjected to nearly as much, almost not at all. And so, like it's really easy to critique, but I at the same and I think we are right, and my critique is rooted in a radical black perspective that is largely advanced by women. And I feel very confident in that assertion because I follow a lot of people whose names I was listing off earlier as self-proclaimed Bernie bros, like Ilhan Omar, or Rashida Tlaib, or all of these other people, like Nina Turner or Breonna Joy Gray, who the liberal corporate style identity politics people don't listen to and are very hypocritical for not listening to or taking seriously. But nevertheless, like I understand why they're very resentful, why they're very closed-minded, and very defensive, and it is because of harassment. And they're only getting it from certain camps, largely Trump and Bernie camps, because obviously there is legitimate criticism that's going to come to them from from the Bernie camp, but at the same time, it gets mixed up with the most vile people and the most reactive people. And those vile, reactive people are in every demographic. And even though Bernie has millions of more supporters who are actively doing things online, the ratio of Bernie harassment is not higher than the ratio of K-Hive harassment or Warrenite harassment or Pete Buttigieg harassment or Biden boy harassment, which those ratios are actually like equal. And we're not even talking per capita. We're just saying like straight up the actual levels of antagonism are the same all around, but Bernie disavows that behavior and they don't. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by getting gaslit is like, we can self-crit. We can admit that it's not easy. We can admit that some people are fucked up and doing the wrong thing, but I don't see that. I don't see that coming from these other camps. I see these people playing into this narrative, and Warren's playing into this narrative with her own base. And Warren was the first person to start kneecapping Bernie. And she did it 3 times in the same week. The week that she did it on during the public debate was the same week that she sent out that email to all of her supporters. And whether that was her decision or if that was some shitty person on her campaign, I don't know, but she didn't disavow it, and she could have. But that email was bullshit. It was absolutely bullshit because it was like, oh, I don't even recognize, like these people say that my supporters are mostly educated, upper middle class white people. And I do not recognize that because I have a grassroots movement of working people. It's like, no, you don't. No, you fucking don't. But first of all, that was not an official campaign volunteer script. That was a completely unaffiliated script that they lifted and tried to say was officially sent out by the Bernie camp, and it was not. That was a lie. It was a lie that went uncorrected in the week that she was kneecapping him and then saying that she's a unity candidate. That hurts. That hurts a lot. Yeah.
So something I was really shocked to see from the Warren camp too was a strategy that I've only seen far-right reactionaries do, which we've all seen the videos of far-right people doing this. They'll go to an event, say to an event that's usually filled with more left-wing people, say something super offensive, then get attacked, and then say, look how crazy the left is. People were doing that with Bernie, where they would they would post a lie about Bernie. All the replies will be people, angry Bernie fans, and then say, look how problematic Bernie bros are.
Yeah.
And even Innuendo Studios. Did you see that Innuendo Studios did that? Like tweeting something positive about Warren, a bunch of people replied angry, and then he was like, look how problematic Bernie bros are. I only tweeted that as a social experiment. And I'm like, this
Chris
is...
did that too.
Oh no, I didn't know that. But it's just so weird because I'm only used to far right reactionaries doing it.
People were okay, and in that comment thread, Chrissy wasn't being. I don't think she was being bad, but like in that comment thread though, and I'll never forget this. There were people who were like, "Yeah, any legitimate criticism gets so much backlash. It's so fucked up that Bernie." And then this person was like, their criticism of Bernie is that he won't put his pronouns in his about section or in his description. And it's like, I'm sorry. I'm all about, respecting people's pronouns, but everyone fucking knows what his pronouns are. Like, he's fucking 78. Could we cut him a little slack on this? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's legitimate criticism. And the thing is like, I would be fine with that. It's like, let's just say that you go, you know what? To me, I think that it would really help him if he would do that. That would actually make a lot of people feel included. And I would say, absolutely. Okay, fair enough. And then, but the thing is when you look at that person's, you go and look at their tweet history, and it's all this shit about Bernie bros, and it's nothing about Medicare for all. Mm-hmm. Then I go, so you are going to focus on that instead of substantial change. You're going to focus on that instead of like I know people who've died in my lifetime. I know friends who've died. I know old folks who were going to die anyway, but they died in misery when they didn't have to. Families that were destroyed, loved ones who, instead of being able to grieve for their family alone, like, We're having to deal with the health insurance companies trying to make them go bankrupt. This is not a fucking, like, this is, if you don't prioritize that, you're not a comrade. Okay? Like, you can't be. And, like, that blows my mind. Like, anybody who doesn't prioritize Medicare for all is just like, I just feel, I'm like, I don't understand. Or like, you know, the Green New Deal. On the one hand, you have leftists who say that it's toothless, that it won't do anything, which is fine. On the other side, you have people who say it's absolutely unrealistic. And it's like, you know, if people don't understand the symbolic weight of saying, hey, we all deserve a place in the future in a time of rising automation, economic and ecological destabilization, we need a statement that we are moving into a renewable future where everybody is included and nobody is going to get fucked over just because they're unable to work or find work because they're being replaced by robots or because they're disabled. If you do not see the value of that statement, of that, of it, because that's fundamental to undermining capitalist realism and giving people an expectation for something more than what we have. It's like these people couldn't sell water on a hot day in a drought. You know what I mean? They couldn't sell anybody anything. And here Bernie is selling like a future to people and telling them, hey, we all deserve a place in that future. Let's stop villainizing the neighbors. Let's stop villainizing the poor. Let's stop villainizing the disabled. And then people are like, oh, but you do this, or oh, you have a mean follower. It's like, okay, I don't trust your commitment to the cause.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, anarchist tech support. Where's Biden's self-crit when he tells Latino voters who are legit scared of being deported by mistake to go vote for Trump? Yeah, getting like booed by the audience. Like these people froth at the mouth if they see an activist. Like they're like, you know. And I was at the Carson City rally where the vegans ran up there and ripped off their shirts topless while I was live streaming. I was like trying to hold my finger over the boobs. I was like, and
I saw the live stream.
You saw it. It's still up. Y'all can go look if you want. But you know, the reason I think it's valuable is because of how it was handled by the Bernie camp. They've always handled activists in a respectful way. That's why Killer Mike, you know, is yelling about how it's so revealing when Hillary has Black Lives Matter activists dragged out of her rallies and Bernie steps aside and listens. And when, you know, these vegans, you know, took the stage like that, like, first of all, Bernie did like a champ try to hold on to his mic, but then she, like a champ, grabbed the other mic and she's like, Bernie, as your strongest supporter, I need you to, you know, stand against the dairy industry. And then, you know, people come up, they cut the mic and, you know, but Bernie's just kind of standing aside. You know, he did kind of like have this like they're topless. We need to get this situation under control. But nevertheless, it was respectful. And all of the people who came up to like usher them off stage were very respectful. But if you look at vegans at Biden's rally like a week ago, getting dragged out like very rudely. Very rudely. I like you know the meme, Bernie. I am once again asking you. Yeah, did you see the one where it was like, I am once again asking you to please remain clothed at my rallies.
To remain clothed. Yeah, that's yeah. And like I said, I think it's just a bunch of people that think that they were really far left. Actually, this is what I actually recently realized about some people, is that the people who say things like, who are like obviously centrists, and they say like we're for everybody, and it's like they make themselves seem like they're more radical than leftists because they're saying we're for everyone. And I realized it's because their framing of leftism is leftists only care about poor people and right-wingers only care about rich people. But I'm trying to start this movement more radical than all of them, where we care about all people. But what they mean by that is just compromising with those in power and telling marginalized people to slow down and wait until other people agree with your causes.
Telling marginalized people to watch their tone.
Yeah.
What you just saw is a clip from a stream that I did this week. I will start taking clips from my streams, putting them up on my YouTube channel. But my streams are currently occurring on twitch.tv/theory_plebe. For those who do not regularly tune in to follow or subscribe with Twitch streamers, I just wanted to let you know that Twitch is pretty neat. It's a pretty cool way of creating a space for different things, and the Majority Report is on there. A similar channel, Lucid Fox, is on there, and there's a lot of new lefty Twitch streamers emerging on Twitch because of the suppression that we are experiencing on YouTube, where it makes it so hard for people who are new to politics to find alternative coverage. And now I'm not normally doing electoral coverage, okay? But I'm not so much a political science person as I am a political philosophy and critical theory person, and so that's kind of my approach to streaming. Is I might use contemporary events, but I'm going to, in the course of doing that, I'm going to talk about books. I'm going to talk about reading books, the importance of opening that dimension of your mind, and we're going to work through classics from the critique of political economy and critical theory into contemporary ways of extending those analyses and either overhauling or expanding or adapting those theories to our changing material conditions so that we can better understand the world that we live in, because that's ultimately the goal. And I'm proud of the kind of space that I cultivate. I really do love the folks who are regulars. It's a good time, so please join us. And if you're not able to join us when we're streaming, then that's okay. Right now I don't have a regular streaming day or time, but if you download the Twitch app and make sure to follow me, you will get notified when I am streaming. I highly recommend doing that. If you're a patron of mine, and if you are, then your name is going by on this side of the screen here right now, and thank you very much for your support. I am an entirely small donation funded creator, and it, every little bit helps free up my time, energy, and attention to be able to focus on this work. But I have to work other kinds of odd jobs to be able to make ends meet right now, but this is ultimately what I feel called to do, and I feel most passionate about. And it's one of those things that I think that I'm passionate about it, so that's why I do it. But I really appreciate the people who help make it possible. But if you're a patron, as I was saying, you will be able to see whenever I start streaming, because I do always let my patrons know, I'm about to go, I'm about to stream, hop in if you can. And the thing about Twitch is my streams can go for 5 to 7 hours. So don't think you have to be there for the whole thing. Just be there for, just drop in and say hi, see what's going on. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like like back in the day, like there was like a friend's house where people would go and hang out. That's basically what Twitch streams are like, except that they're like almost live, independent TV shows. So hope to see you there. I hope if I don't see you there, that you will enjoy these clips when I mine them and put them up on the YouTube. My roadside rants will continue, but not as frequently as they were. And there are video essays in the works, on the way. There's a book that I'm writing right now, on the way. Those things are all background processes, and especially when it comes to video essays, that's It's in process, but I just finished a move, and my computer, half of it has not arrived right now, so I'm working on my laptop alone, which really ties my hands, restrains me from being able to be as productive as normal, but nevertheless, they persist. So, thanks so much. Much love, and take care. Like, follow, subscribe.